welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Tuesday. The Barnes and Tony Show once again, straight from Staten Island. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, dude. It's good to be back. You know, the Father's Day special, the DMV yesterday. But stoked to be back in studio, talking to you, talking some sports, NBA, whatever.
What would we have in the stopwatch at the DMV?
On the stopwatch, dude, it's so funny. I want to say like an hour and a half, maybe.
Which for the DMV,
honestly, isn't terrible,
lightning.
dude.
Honestly,
yeah,
it's lightning.
It really is.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, once I got to the counter, I was there for maybe 5 minutes. Wow. You know, like literally though.
And I do have to say, and I know sometimes I say stuff, it sounds a little crazy, but I honestly think like everything with the DMV can be done digitally. And the only reason they make you go in is because they want you to be too lazy to do whatever you have to do. So they don't have to do it and they don't have to pay more people to do it. And they just want to make you suffer. That's why they do everything in person.
No, that sounds about right, honestly.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, there is so much to talk about. You know, a weak DNR this morning. We'll just tease that a little bit, Tony.
Oh boy.
But let's start with some comments first here.
Oh, you want to go to the comments?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the comments here. We have Josh B.
Josh B.
Early in office. What is up, fam? It was nice to have the day off after that weekend series. Naturally, get back to center there. Josh B says get back to on track. Actually, hashtag New York Yankees, hashtag TCA, hashtag Sports, hashtag DTV.
That's the mindset we're looking for, Josh.
Right.
That doesn't sound like something a Mets fan would say.
Speaking of a Mets fan, we have Kev Dude Taylor. Who's that guy?
Let's go!
We want the smoke. How about those Mets? He says, we are on a roll. I know Brian will shoot it down because he's a Yankee snob. LMAO. Well, Tony,
yeah,
let's go Mets.
I will have a lot to say. That. And listen, I'm not going to hold back. Tony, by the end of this show, will probably want to take a slug at me, but that's fine.
Oh, my goodness.
But I will have a lot to say about the still pathetic Mets, Kev. So just stay tuned for that.
Oh, boy. Matthew Gabriel also says, let's go. He says, what up to Kev Dude, to Josh B. Matthew Ryan says, Mets got lucky, which is kind of ridiculous when you have 22 hits.
Mets
and then
suck. They just got lucky. Another comment from him.
Yeah, that's also him again. Let's be real here. Ryan McNeil says the Celtics are champs. I'm at the beach. It's a good day. Wow, Tuesday morning beach after the Celtics win. You're not happy, but I mean that's sounds nice. Wouldn't you like to be on the beach right now, dude? Come on.
Yeah, but fuck Boston. You know, I don't know, right? Or does anybody agree with me out here?
Yeah.
Domac and Riley aren't here, so they don't have anything to say.
I know. I wish they were, dude. I really wish they were.
Do you though?
Yeah, I think that would be great. I don't know.
You know, I feel like it's like we need a little like barrier in between like the title and.
Is it really this bad for you? I mean, like I don't understand. It's the Boston thing, but like it's just the Celtics.
It begins and ends with Boston, the fans, the attitude. You just at the end of the day, like. You just don't want to hear it. But yes, is it the best sport for it to happen in? Probably, you know?
I would say definitively. Yeah. Bruins, Red Sox, I mean, that'd be brutal.
And Patriots,
obviously.
Well.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, like I said, a lot to go over. But let's just start first. You know, I want to ask you about the golf, but before I do that, I was just thinking over the weekend. Any highlights, any like ridiculous food or anything from over the weekend?
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, dude. So I guess we'll do the Sunday. The Sunday was a food bonanza, honestly, from start to finish. It's Father's Day. My dad loves pancakes. So me and my mother and I wake up, we making pancakes, the sausage, the bacon, the whole nine there. which was great because I haven't had pancakes. I haven't made pancakes in a while. So that was awesome. My dad, all of a sudden, I want to say this is, I don't know, maybe 10:30 at this point. He's like, hey, I'm kind of in the mood for like ribs. Like, what if we made ribs today? When, we had burgers, dogs all laid out for dinner, whatever. I was like, all right, novellis, ribs, marinated those for a few hours, slow cooked them on the grill. That was awesome. Went up to the local restaurant, Cameron's Waffle on tap at my house, baked clams, chicken wings.
Wow.
Freaking delicious for appetizers by the pool. That was awesome.
What type of is it? Like, what type of wing is it?
So it's the wings that they're like a dry wing.
Lemon flavor?
No, they're like they're spicy, but
like a Cajun
it's like a batter. Yeah, it's
Okay.
a batter, and then they fry it, but there's no sauce. It's dry. Freaking delicious. Literally, like clean the bone off. Obviously, the baked clams. I mean, oh my god, so good. And then by that point, it was like 4 hours later. The ribs are ready. Those were awesome. First time cooking ribs like that, at least for me. That was dope. And then, of course, burgers, dogs. After that, for dinner, the macaroni salad, corn on the cob.
Wow, corn on the cob, fire.
My God, dude, I love corn on the cob. And then dessert, my brother got this freaking rainbow cookie cake, which was outrageous. And
local bakery?
Yeah, local bakery, Mark's on Richmond Road, I believe. I guess I've never had it before. I guess it must be new for them. But it's a rainbow cookie cake, so it's obviously the 3 layers, 3 colors. But in the middle is like this creamy vanilla pudding type thing.
Wow.
And it was just, oh my God,
rainbow
dude, so
cookie
good.
stuff usually doesn't have filling. That's kind of interesting.
No, yeah, I guess because it's a cake, they put their own little spin on it, dude.
Good. Like make it moist. Yeah.
Oh God, it was so good, dude.
You had a couple slices, or
yeah,
cappuccino to finish it off, or
espresso, actually.
Espresso, okay.
Espresso, dude, so good.
That sounds awesome. Now, the golf. Did you get any in over the weekend? Like in terms of watching?
Yeah,
the
dude.
US
So
Open?
Sunday was like spotty here and there. I did not see the end of it. But Saturday I caught a good glimpse of Aubert kind of blowing it, dude. Honestly.
Wow. But
Yeah.
speaking of blowing it,
I mean, yeah, I know. Rory, dude.
I mean, what the?
I didn't see the putt, but I saw Bryson win.
Right.
And I saw Rory in that freaking little locker room he was in, dude. I mean, you got to be literally like it's over. Like,
yeah.
And then now he dropped out of the Travelers, right?
He did.
Josh dropped out of the Travelers. The whole post. Congratulations to Bryson.
We'll
but
see
now
him
we got
the Scottish.
Scottish Texas
Open
Open here. I don't know, dude. That's just. I mean, that is literally sums up the past decade for him. I feel right. Like,
yeah,
literally.
I think for me, it's the worst collapse I've ever seen.
Brutal. No, yeah. I mean, honestly, for me too, probably. I don't think anything comes to mind. It's again to see how good he was. I mean, dude, he was banging in putts like 2 holes before that.
2-stroke lead on the back 9, and then the putt that he missed, that if he made, there would have been a playoff, was 2.5 feet.
Literally, like
2.5 feet. So it's like you take the break out of it, you hit it dead center, just like Bryson with his match winning putt, whatever tournament winning putt.
For par, right?
Yeah.
He parred 18. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the shot. I mean, what stood out to you more though about how Rory blew it, or the heroics of Bryson blocked out 55 yards out in a bunker, sticking it within 3 feet? I mean, what really stood out to you?
Honestly, I mean, Bryson.
Yeah.
Because that feat is, I think, more impressive. And I think people are, undervaluing how he played that hole. Because that shot out of the bunker was ridiculous. I mean, we're not hitting that shot. Rory's not hitting that shot. I mean, that was really impressive. And I think people are focusing more so on Rory blowing it rather than Bryson's, honestly, like recovery there. But nonetheless, I mean, I think, people are congratulating Bryson. He won that tournament for the second US Open win, right? So, I mean, that's freaking huge, dude.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And and I think for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's just that we don't see him on a week in, week out basis. But I think a lot of people ignored the fact that, he had, 4th at the Masters, runner-up at the PGA. Like, he's been trending this way for a little bit of time now.
Yeah, dude. And it was nice to, I guess, see him kind of get over that hump, because I feel like Bryson's another one where I think he would choke at the end, kind of having on a Sunday, like maybe kind of bobbling a little bit. And I feel like he used to run his mouth a little bit too.
Yeah. He changed his caddy. And I think that right before he had that 58 last year at the Greenbrier.
Oh yeah.
So he did that. It seems like the results have been there ever since. So it's just, and I think the thing is, because you always thought about him with his distance, but the putting, that's what's made the difference. And the short game. I mean, that bunker shot, the people don't realize how difficult that bunker shot was.
I mean, that was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, he had all the pressure on in the world on him at that point. He had those last two shots. I mean, literally, it was all on him. Rory was already finished. He knew exactly what he needed to do. And literally where Rory crumbled, I mean, Bryson stood tall. So I mean, you gotta tip your cap to him for that. But gosh, I mean, I feel like so many players struggled with their short game, putting on those greens, dude. Absolutely brutal. Those greens were unbelievable. And there were so many times, you see some guy maybe chipping it on from 80 yards out, whatever. And you think it's kind of good, somewhat close to the middle of the green. Then all of a sudden, as if a gust of wind comes, that ball just starts to roll. And then even honestly, Rory, right? I think was it on 18 where he kind of, no, it was maybe 17 where
18, I mean, he missed the 2.5 footer that.
No. But he kind of chipped it on from the fairway.
Okay.
And then literally maybe missed his mark by a little bit, but then literally this ball starts rolling all the way off the back of the green into some terrible rough area. I mean, those rolls were really tough.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of just saying, oh, he's as close as he's ever been, this and that.
Is he though? It seems like he's as far as away as he's ever been, honestly.
Well, I just feel like you can't miss those putts, and how is that not going to be in the back of his mind all the time? And I don't know.
What do you think he does for the Scottish Open?
Well, like I've said many times, does he not win the Scottish?
He does
the Open. I mean,
do you think he'll win the Scottish? Honestly,
I wouldn't be surprised.
That I would be a little surprised.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. It was so tough looking at him. Left, didn't talk to the media.
Crazy. And I believe some more comments.
Oh yeah, sorry. My mother says, "Who is this clown?" Okay, in response to Matthew Ryan, because he is a clown bashing the Mets. Watch out, my mother's a Mets fan. Lonnie in the house says hashtag company loyalty, and then he says, "Hi, Tony's mom. Don't worry about Matt. He is just insane." And then says Rory blew it. And my mother says, "Don't forget about the potato croquettes." Oh, yes, the croquettes. I did forget about those. He had some, Brian. I'll tell Brian, definitely gonna have some croquettes. I mean, to fry up in the little toaster oven here, so good. Even if you squirt a little bit of ketchup or dare I say mustard on it, it does taste really good. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, if you're Rory McIlroy, and I mean, it's funny too because I was talking to my mother, about it on the weekend. Obviously, Saturday we were eating dinner, golf is on, we're looking at Rory, talking about the storylines and everything, even with Scotty and whatnot. I mean, he has some serious work to do. I know he's trying to. Obviously, he's coming out of pulling out of the Travelers. I guess I don't know. I don't really agree with that, to be honest. I don't know how you feel about that, Brian. Like Rory pulling out of the Travelers. If I was him, I would still try and golf as much as I can and just get out there and golf competitively.
Yeah, yeah. But maybe he's just like, I just want a couple weeks to relax with the misses. But maybe that's not the right attitude to have.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that is a terrible attitude. I mean, I guess you're somewhat. I don't know.
So what?
Reconciling your marriage, I guess. But come on, dude.
Why are you trying to skip Lonnie's comment?
I guess he did say. I also commented about Barnes' shirt. You see, he is trying to skip the double B.
Oh, we see.
I tried.
We see.
Obviously, I was just waiting. First of all, where did he put? Where?
Actually, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't. I missed that. I didn't see it.
I don't see it here at all, Lonnie. Okay. So you should pretty honestly, Lonnie, maybe you didn't hit send. Because I don't see it. It's not here, Lonnie. How about MD Sacred Heart?
Who is that?
No idea. Stop the show. It's always been about Celtics.
Michael Domack
in
MD Sacred Heart
5.
It has to be.
I I guess if that's but there's no way Domac. The disrespect is insane all year long.
It's Domac.
Why would he have an account called
Other
MD
account.
Sacred Heart? It is Domac. Domac, what the hell is MD? Other account, MD Sacred Heart. Dude,
But
commenting on behalf of Sacred Heart. I mean, look, I don't know. Domac calling, dude. He might be at the DP show.
Oh, I'm sure he is. But you know what it is, honestly? Like, oh, it's so year, this and that. But and I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of tight today. But I also just feel like, does anybody really care? Like, I feel like everybody outside of Boston, maybe people are like a little annoyed. Like Michael Butka, for instance, that they won. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like the NBA being a diminished product, the fact that it was like an uncompelling series, I don't know how much like it really matters to everybody else.
I would say for most people outside of Boston, it really does. Or the New England area, I guess I should say. But I mean, that's
I think you're trying to
dude.
group Connecticut so much with Boston. It's like
I know a lot of Connecticut people
right,
who are Celtics
Connecticut.
fan.
Yes.
In rural Connecticut?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
I think the line in the sand is really probably like, I don't know, Milford. Like Milford South, like that's majority is New York fans.
I don't know though, dude.
Like you're talking Branford, Clinton.
You're telling me those guys are Knicks fans or Nets fans
from Milford on? Yeah, I'm talking about
really?
North.
Right, North
like,
is all Celtics. Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely obviously most Celtics fans from Connecticut I know are from like Watertown, Hartford area.
Yeah, but that's
but still, I feel like there's a good chunk that are down here though. That are still
because
that's where I see the the Celtics Yankees fans,
Yeah, no, but I think though you're not.
No, you're right though. It is more up north.
You're not a Fairfield County native if you're a Boston fan. Honestly, you're not.
Wow.
So, yeah,
interesting.
I mean, they can enjoy that, all they want.
Oh wow, Riley's in here now. Good day. Great day, fun times. City of Champions. He says, born in the right place. Stomac, Riley gets it. Huge history, more rings than the Lakers. Banner 18.
But also too, I'm gonna, I definitely want you to get out the notepad on this one, Tony. I really mean this. I hope all Boston fans enjoy this championship because let me tell you, in all four major sports, you're not going to see one for quite some time. So just remember me saying that. Enjoy the parade, the this and that, but you're not going to see one anytime soon. Guarantee it. Honestly,
you're threatening them, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're probably just thinking in your head, side of the bed today. Tight.
I mean, obviously, again, it's so tough, dude. And the Bruins are competitive. I mean, you would imagine the Celtics are still competitive next year.
But they're not going to win.
Right?
It's so hard to win.
No, it is. It is very hard to win.
But all these arrogant Boston fans thought in 2008, oh my God, we're going to win another 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, true.
And it's like, it took a long time. So, like I said, things come together. People get greedy. The work, once the mission is accomplished, the motivation goes down. You see it every single time.
Wow. Domex says sounds like a salty Rangers fan. Well, that's I don't know about that one. And then he says Dynasty incoming, all players under contract for 1 more year minimum. And obviously he's back to his normal account. You can see the nice LinkedIn professional photo. And he says, whoa, in 2008, we went 1 in 2010 and not 2009 because KG broke his leg, dude. And 2010, KG was never the same, dude.
So many excuses.
Riley says Drake May going to slide in right after the Celtics dynasty in a couple years.
The Patriots, oh my God.
Drake
they
May,
might not
dude.
Win a title till the 2300s, honestly.
I don't know about Drake May, dude. And then
or we give him 2100s, maybe
21. Yeah, that sounds about right, dude. 80 years, dude. You want to hear what Lonnie has to say?
No, because that's more nonsense. No, I'm kidding. But come on, we've talked about it many times.
The mush, dude. I mean,
there's-
I guess you really didn't say that New York's gonna win.
Yeah, it's just about Boston.
Yeah.
They're cursed. They're
The curse,
so,
dude.
it was just thrown upon you. Okay?
You want to talk about time codes? Write it down. Riley Souza, 2027 Pats.
Oh my
Watch
God,
out
the
for them.
Pats. Gerard Mayo. I mean, he's been what was he, a defensive coordinator for 1 year, if that? I don't even think he was the defensive coordinator. Actually, now that I think about this,
I don't think so
I
either.
think he was the linebacker coach. So all of a sudden, he's a great head coach.
He's a guru.
Come on, it's that organization is in shambles. So let's take it easy, boys.
And then, of course, Josh B. digging. Okay, the question of the morning: where's Bukta in hiding after Tatum's chip win? You said you heard from him last night, dude. I can only imagine what it was like.
Yeah,
in the
at
Bukta household.
I hope nothing was broken.
Do you think? I don't know if he does. I don't think he's like one of those.
I don't think so. We must have been like yelling.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I'm sure his brother Jimmy egging him on. Oh, that Jimmy.
Yeah.
That Jimmy, dude. Lonnie, it doesn't matter. He was saying it as a New York fan. The sports gods know.
Oh, please, sports gods, my ass. Okay. But I didn't see, did Brown win the
he did. Jay Brown won the MVP finals. Yep.
Yeah. I did watch the game. Yeah, oh my God, it was so ridiculous. Stephen A on the halftime show.
Oh, I didn't even see that, dude.
Oh my God.
Was he like
no, he was just doing his like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
what was his stance on? Was it Celtics all the way?
No, he was just saying that the Mavs, it was pathetic. Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't have an effort like this in an elimination game.
I mean, it was a little embarrassing, wouldn't you say, dude? I mean, I don't want to question their effort or anything, but I don't know. I feel like, Luka was kind of flopping around a little bit. Like Kyrie wasn't making his shots. I think Luka was like, I don't know, like I think he hit 1 3 out of his last 21 made.
You know what it is?
The third quarter came.
I relate this to golf, and I feel like you know what I'm talking about too. Like, when you get off to like a bad start in a round, and then it just feels like after a couple holes, like your anxiety's heightened, your confidence is waning, you're kind of like scrambling, eyes are wide, like you're unsure of yourself.
That was them.
That's what happened after the first couple games,
yeah,
especially 3-0. Then you're just like, you don't even know what you're doing.
I don't. Yeah, it was so weird. Dude, Kyrie like dabbing up the Celtics bench with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah,
like that was weird, dude.
I know. I mean,
you're pulling your starters when I understand you're down by 20 and stuff, but like,
yeah, no, you fight till the end.
You got to fight till the end, dude. I don't know what that is. And I don't know how actually you feel about Domac's comment too. He says that in terms of Brown, media-driven finals MVP, shaking my head, he says. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming he would have liked to have seen Tatum win.
But I feel like Tatum missed a ton of shots.
And honestly, Tatum had a great game last night.
Yeah.
But you know what? He was striving when they were up by fucking 20 in the third quarter, I feel. I understand he had a good game, but it's like, when the ball's not in your hand, like when they had like, game deciding plays going down throughout this playoffs, I feel like the ball was going to Jaylen Brown. Even Derek White more so than Jason Tatum.
And if Porzingis was healthy, it probably would have went to him too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think that I understand it's finals MVP, but I still think Brown deserved it.
And I see this comment by Lonnie. Sports Jesus is coming for you, Double B. And I'm guessing is he talking about Dave? Because don't they call Dave Sports Jesus or no?
I think so, yeah.
But I was gonna say, I mean, we're gonna talk about it in 1 second, but let's just say today, Lonnie, I'm coming for him. Okay.
Why is Sports Jesus coming for you though?
I'm not sure. Oh, maybe just meaning that he's saying that I jinxed the New York teams, which that doesn't make any sense. But neither did their show today, so we'll talk about that.
Also clarify, if there's a jinx, he's just jinxing the Yankees, not New York teams.
Oh my God! Well, the Mets are already jinxed, so there's nothing to do there.
How are they jinxed?
Well, we're gonna talk about it, but
we'll have to talk about today.
Just finish up the comments here.
All right, let's go. So Michael Domack says Jaylen Brown did phenomenal on defense, but Tatum was dominant. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I need some more. I need some more, Domack.
Yeah.
You're gonna convince me here. Honest, non-biased statement. The Celtics are just the most complete team and deep team. We have phenomenal defense all year, and our offense was absurd this season. I mean, the team is deep, no doubt. Even when you didn't play with Porzingis, you guys were still winning games. His shooting percentages was not the best in terms of Tatum, I assume, but 22 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists is insane. But still, I mean, I feel like it was Jaylen Brown, and he was D'ing up Luka all night. So, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like I understand, maybe he was, Luka was still having sneaky 30-point games, double doubles here, whatever. But I mean, listen, Luka never had that game.
Mhm.
Like we were saying, that 50, 60-point game, never had it. So
no, definitely.
that's the
definitely
Finals
came up
MVP,
a little
dude.
short. And listen, Sully's had a great year, but like I said, I mean, all good things have to come to an end. So, enjoy the cake now. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will.
Yeah. And I'm sure the Mets will lose tonight, like Matthew Ryan says.
I don't know
Garbage
why-
team, garbage organization. And I think honestly,
Like, what are we doing here?
And then Michael's saying, "Hey, I'm not mad. Watch the game in the arena. It was insanity." But is he saying he was at the game?
I guess. Watch the game at the arena. The fans were no joke, man.
I don't.
No, I mean, he must have went to the game, right?
But I don't get why he would say it like that. I watched the game. Wouldn't you just say I went to the game? Oh, I went to game 5. Okay, gotcha.
Is that what you just said? Yeah, I went to
Yeah.
game 5 on Saturday. There you go.
So game 5 was last night.
Yeah.
But
I know he is kind of
he's
talking
saying-
like an idiot.
No,
a
I
little
think
bit.
he's popped, honestly, because he's riled that they won.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He definitely maybe hitting the sauce a little too early, dude.
But let's just jump into this. Enough on the garbage Celtics. Let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it! Yep. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drill deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So, kind of interesting, obviously, with the Yankees being off last night. The Mets kind of come to the forefront. A big win for them
dude.
yesterday, 14-2. But I have to just mention this, and I always say this. When it comes to Rick and Dave, I mean, great people, great radio hosts, all that stuff. They know what they're talking about. But listen, nobody's perfect. Everybody has an off day. And I have to say, the lack of discipline out of them two this morning was probably the most embarrassing thing that I've ever seen. It was the most embarrassing show I've ever seen them have, honestly. The fact that after, some wins against the Marlins, the Padres, and the Rangers, all teams that are either under 500 or right at 500, they're talking about their playoff positioning, what the hard decisions at the deadline, if they're going to keep guys. And even I missed this part, but you were telling me, Tony, that they said something about, they would rather be in their position than the Yankees. I mean, you want to talk about putting the cart in front of the horse. I understand, like, it's been a good stretch right now. But you can't count anything, first of all, until you're like over 500. So I know they're talking about tough decisions, come the trade deadline. I guarantee this right now. And we want to talk about the notepad, Tony. I would say by the deadline, they're back to 10 games under 500. Like, yes, this has been a great stretch, but you're really getting ahead of yourself thinking about the playoffs. And then the nonsense of the Soto conversation is one of the more ridiculous things I've ever heard. And especially too, the fact that, let's just say hypothetically that was actually a possibility. The fact that your grand plan is, let's just give Soto a $700 million contract. It's like, well, what about the rest of your team? Like, I just feel like the thought process isn't there. And it is insane. And listen, it's 6 games in a row. That's great. But there has to be some perspective here. And I have to say, if I had to do a comparison, just listening to the show this morning, it was like I was listening to the Dan Graca show. That's really what I felt like. And I just feel like it was a complete embarrassment. And just getting way too ahead of yourselves. And I think that's why, from a general perspective, a lot of people, don't take Mets fans seriously because of stuff like that. Honestly, I really, really think that's embarrassing, being the professionals that they are. They're not just fans, they're professionals. And to say something like that, I just feel like it's crazy. And I just want to know, coming from another Mets fan himself, I mean, what's going on here?
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I think off the rip, the Soto conversation. I mean, is it crazy? I mean, again, a million teams would be interested in him. Do I think he's going to not sign with the Yankees? I think he will sign with the Yankees. I mean, I don't think anything is really indicative of him leaving that team, especially if they do go on to win the World Series. I mean, he's going to want to stick around. Yes, there will be teams offering him probably, exuberant amount of money. But I really don't think the Yankees I mean, no, they're not going to let him walk. I don't think they're going to let him walk. So,
Right.
like, regardless, they're going to do whatever they can to keep Soto there. In terms of the Mets making a wild card spot and making a push, or I think it's something to at least talk about. I mean, we have talked about it, this year, that it wasn't so far fetched to see the Mets take a wild card spot, especially with how bad the rest of the NL has been. And again, I mean, I understand, like, maybe people are, putting the cart ahead of the horse here. But I don't think it's too far-fetched to talk about, Brian.
But
Wild
it's like,
card.
did they not see like the first part of the season before this little streak
I
happened?
understand, but like
it's another bad one not around the corner. You think they're just gonna coast to 20 games over 500 from
No,
here?
no, I
feel like
don't
it was
think
just
so. But I think
irresponsible of them to have that take.
I
this morning.
think for the first time, I mean, you're seeing the Mets play somewhat like they were expected to play. I mean, that's what it was.
But there's no count for the fact that the Padres have had no consistency all year. The Marlins are terrible. And the Rangers, defending champs or not, they've been awful this year.
No, yeah, I understand that. But I mean, it doesn't matter who they were versing at the beginning of the year. The Mets were losing games, Like I said, for the first time, they're playing like people anticipated them to. And a lot of people did predict them to push for a wild card spot. So that's why I think it's being talked about, which is fine. I mean, I don't think that's so absurd. The Soto stuff, I think, is more absurd than that. But I think that at that point, I mean, the Mets, could be poised with like a scenario where they're kind of towing a line of like, what are they going to do at this trade deadline? Because again, that wild spot is in hand. Would it be smart to go for it? Probably not. You have other powerhouses in the NL.
Probably not. I mean, it's like I think everybody knows that, and I just feel like it's like you're trying to build something sustainable, and you're gonna say, "Okay, let's try to get some prospects to add to this team." I mean, when your system really needs prospects, I mean, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think at the end of the day, maybe Cohen will want to to get a World Series this year. I mean, there's been times where, you've seen, I mean, the Nationals at that trade deadline, they were well under 500 at the deadline, and they ended up winning the World Series. The Braves did the same thing too.
But
it's not an impossible feat,
though, that all of those teams didn't have so much more talent than this Mets team has. I mean, Harper, Soto, like the Braves, we know about all the guys they have with Riley and Acuna,
and they picked up great guys at that deadline. So again, I mean, I feel like if you guys are starting to play like this, I mean, if JD continues to hit like he does, if Alvarez is starting to continue to hit like he does and stays healthy, if all these players hit like they were anticipated for, like, yeah, you could get a wild card spot. But again, I don't know. I mean, that's I suppose for Stearns and Cohen to decide. I mean, if I'm Steve Cohen, and you want to bet on this team to win a World Series this year, and you really want to do that, where you're letting up all these prospects and getting guys in here and going to World Series, I think it's going to happen. Probably not. Like, I wouldn't do that. I think that would be dumb. And I think a lot of people are talking about, again, like Senga coming back. I don't know. I mean, Senga just started to throw, I think, or something. His rehab has been so ridiculous. I don't even know what's happening. But regardless, I would anticipate him not being lights out when he comes to the Mets. I mean, pitching is still going to be a huge issue. I mean, yes, like you hit really well against probably the Rangers' best pitcher in John Gray coming into that game. Absolutely tattooed him, which is great. And you were stringing along hits. Everybody was hitting, and not just long ball, but like getting runners in scoring position, like bringing them in. It was tacking on the runs. I mean, it was impressive to see last night. That's fine. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think it's so far-fetched to be talking about a wild card spot. Again, I didn't hear Rick and Dave talk about that part. The only part I heard is when Rick was like, "Oh, like when you look at these two situations, like I kind of like my chances of
my God. No, but it's
Mets
so
wild card over Yankees World Series."
Oh my God, like that was that was the worst thing that I've ever heard in my life, to be honest. And it's just like, it's just a textbook example. And like I said this going back years ago, but just why the Mets fans can be so wearing on people. It's just like saying ridiculous stuff with no basis. Like you're on a nice little streak against mediocre teams, but to talk about the playoffs, like you're going to lose 90 games. Like you're not making the playoffs. Like I just think that perspective is just so off base. And then on top of it, to mention your situation and the same as the Yankees, like what are you even talking about? I mean, the Yankees have what, 16 more victories than you? Like it's not even in the same atmosphere. And then you're saying you'd rather be in your situation. Like that's why people just question some intelligence of some Mets fans because you say insane stuff like that. And it just doesn't make any sense at the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess so. One game out of the wild card.
But it's like
one game.
I just know that somewhere there for you, that there's like the ups and downs of a season. Like the other side of this is coming soon. I mean, this has been great, sure, but it doesn't mean that like they're just going to keep ripping wins. Like,
no, not to say that. I mean, listen, this is by far on a 16-game win streak. They're 8-2, I think, in their last 10. It's their best 10-game, I guess, like streak here all year long. I mean, Mets fans, I think, have some good to be happy about. Again, like ever since that players meeting with Lindor, I mean, things have really looked up for the team. Everyone's stepping up. Alvarez coming back is huge. I think there's some good to be happy about. And yes, the fact that you're a game out of the wild card spot and the rest of the NL kind of sucks. Like that's huge. I mean, it's kind of even more so for you to be excited because again, I mean, with a record like this last year, you probably wouldn't be touching a wild card spot.
Yeah, but it's like, again, though, you're supposed to like have a long-term view. And like I said, like besides the fact that it's just like from a sensical standpoint, it's like, they're not going to make the playoffs. And even if they were close, like that would be like, you want to talk about how you're waiting and you thought like the championship would already be like kind of a lot closer by now. Like that's just going to set you back further. Like,
I totally agree. I mean, again, that's what's the difficult decision. That's what honestly I hate about the Mets kind of going on this tear right now is the fact that it does give people hope and it does kind of give this inclination like, oh, maybe you should. But I mean, either way, I think it's honestly like, I don't know. I mean, I guess moving forward, you still want to be sellers at the deadline at the end of the day. Unless there's some miraculous plan that Stearns puts out to bring in certain guys at this deadline that are going to really change, the face of the rotation or something,
But would it not be, let's say they're in the middle somehow still, and it's like, would it not be Mets like to just not do anything, hang on to Alonso, hang on to JD, hang on to all the pitchers, the bullpen, and then not make the playoffs and then not get any return and then have those guys just walk for nothing?
Yeah, that would be kind of tough, dude.
Yeah. So, that's why I don't know. And the whole thing that you said just put me over the top with a better spot than the Yankees. I mean, that's just insane. So I don't know. I didn't expect that. And especially from Dave, because I feel like, he's usually had, some pretty good perspective and usually, you've heard him say all year how the Mets are about all of a sudden they win 6 in a row. And it's like, they're back at the World Series is back on it. It just seemed a little crazy to me. That's all.
I mean, I can kind of see where Rick is coming from, obviously from your perspective, I mean, when the question was, is it more likely the Yankees win the World Series, the Mets make a wild card?
But I think Rick, though, too, I have to say, not to call him out, but I just could kind of tell, like, when when Dave was asking him questions with the Rangers, there is a little like his take. There is a little bias that goes into it because I just like you kind of like with the Rangers all year was kind of saying, and I know ultimately I guess he was right, but it just seemed like that was part of it, and it just seems like with saying the thing about the Yankees. I mean, how is that not part of it as well?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it is much easier to make a wild card spot than it is to win the World Series.
What else we got here? Michael Buckta back from the dead.
Buckta is back from the dead here. He does say, as typical here, Boston fans don't deserve to be so happy. Worst fucking fans on the planet. If Giannis and Dame were healthy, much different story.
Interesting.
Wouldn't be an 18th banner. And then my mother says, Barnes, if it was the Yankees, you'd be talking differently.
because the Yankees are different. Like,
No. But she's saying if the Yankees were in this
But-
situation,
but I mean, not to, but I'm just saying they're not ever in this situation.
but that's the point of the conversation. If they
right.
were,
But like, you have to know where you are, and it seems like Rick and Dave, for whatever reason today, we're struggling with that. So that's all.
I mean, I don't think it's still far fetched to say the Mets are gonna.
I
the
mean,
wild card.
but it's like, listen, yes, has Severino pitched well, but I mean, is it really going to surprise you if the Mets don't lose like 10-2 tonight and he gives up like 7 earned runs? Honestly,
That would surprise me.
okay. I'm just saying. I mean, to get all worked up, I just think is irresponsible. That's all. Because there hasn't been a test. This has been against mediocrity. So it's like,
Yeah, but it's still like a step in the right direction, and it is currently June 16th. You know, like it is still pretty early in the season for a lot of these teams. So
I mean, I still look at it, and even though the injuries, the way they haven't played the way they should. I mean, we know Philadelphia's better, but I was talking about Atlanta. They're definitely going to finish ahead of the Mets, and right now Washington's slightly ahead. But I still think end of the day they're going to end up finishing 4th, and probably losing around 90 games.
I mean, again, it's possible,
Yeah.
but it looks like everyone else around the NL fighting for that wild card spot are on the exact same track. So I mean, look at some of the teams that you have to be like kind of beating right now. Padres.
Braves are there.
Yeah, Braves are there, obviously.
I think the Cardinals will be there, and then I think the last wild card spot will probably go to either the Diamondbacks or the Padres.
I don't know. How do you feel about the Pirates?
Pirates have a chance.
Not enough
Skeens,
offense?
Yeah, might need
Dude,
to.
Skeens I was watching Skeens pitch yesterday.
Skeens is pretty nice.
Dude, he's got that splitter at like 95. That is just
a
absolutely
95-mile-an-hour
ridiculous, dude.
splitter is insane.
It really is. Like, I don't think anybody's throwing that.
No, can't be doing that.
Can't be doing that, dude. I forget who the hell were they playing yesterday? Was it the Padres? No. Actually, no, they were playing Philadelphia. Pittsburgh was playing. Doesn't even matter. Cincinnati, maybe?
Cincinnati.
I think it was the Reds.
4-0, 2.29 ERA.
I think it was maybe Jonathan India was at the plate, and Skeens was just literally like making him look foolish. And he had him like after the first strike, like you knew he had him, dude.
Yeah.
It really is super impressive, dude. What Skeens is doing.
And Pirates have had to struggle through a lot of mediocrity themselves. So would be nice to see them, finally turn it around. And Chapman has turned it around after I just picked him up on my deep fantasy league. You need like middle relievers. He had a real tough stretch. He got the hold yesterday. His ERA down to 3-1. I think his ERA was at 6. And what
Bruh, Bukta. Domac is a fake ass sports fan. You can't go liking a team from NYC, Philly, and Boston.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know, Michael. Bukta, the Penguins.
But it seems like, there is a little mix
the
there.
Penguins, the Yankees, the Lakers.
What did he say? That college basketball was better than the NFL? Or didn't he just say that last week?
Something about college basketball being better than
sure.
a professional sport. Yeah.
Please.
Oh, and the Matthew Ryan Mets won't win any more games.
He's so riled.
Which is obviously just not true.
Well, he
That'd
said
be ridiculous.
many more games. He didn't say any
won't
more
win
games.
many more games.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, that's a variable figure.
Right. But
But
many is like what, 10?
yeah, I mean, obviously not that. Anyway, I just had to. Oh my
Michael
God, with the
Bukta,
NFL.
yeah.
I mean, the
Whoa.
Steelers are going to be pretty good. Like
That's right. He's a Steelers fan too.
Yeah, no, that's tough. I hate seeing that,
Dude, the Steelers are going to be sick, dude.
The Steelers are going to be pretty good. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Russ probably will be cooking something.
And then, do you think they'll implement Fields a little bit?
Kick return, or maybe a Fields package. They're definitely going to do the Fields package in the red zone.
Dude. Absolutely,
Why not?
dude. Like that's sick.
20 at most.
20 at most.
So he has the Mets winning about 55 games.
Talk about timestamps. All right, let's
57.
go. 20 more games.
I'll give him 70.
We'll
Matthew.
start
I'll give him
counting
70.
them down, Matthew.
But yeah, I had to just get that off. I just couldn't believe what I was listening to. That was just so embarrassing today. But obviously, it was a blowout, Tony, 14-2.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot we didn't even talk about the game. Actually,
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to talk.
No,
about
I mean,
it.
there's not really much to talk about.
Just a bloodbath.
Yeah,
the end of the
literally,
day.
like literal batting practice, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to John Gray.
What happened
Well,
to the Rangers?
oh my
Worn
God.
out from a late run?
I guess. Well, you know, like you said, dude, you know, you get that taste of glory and then you get kind of complacent, whatever.
Yep.
And as for John Gray, I mean, like I said, you know, one of the better pitchers going into this game, 2.72 ERA going into the game. I think now it's well over 3.1, 3.3 maybe. But I don't know, that second inning, he was just, I don't know, maybe too stubborn about trying to establish the inside fastball. And none of those fastballs were inside enough. Like literally, I think every one of those hits were like 95 and it was over the middle of the plate, like high and over the middle. DJ with the 3-run dinger, dude. Alonso getting on base, Lindor bringing around the bags. I mean, it literally was total batting practice. 22 hits. Nimmo was looking good. Yeah, I mean, there really was not much to be complaining about. Peterson, okay. And even got to some of their bullpen guys of the Rangers. And I think it was just one of those games, you know? I mean, again, I don't expect to see a result like that again tonight. But I think the Rangers, the way their season has been going, even as of late, too, I think they're, you know, they're still one of the coldest teams in baseball right now. So, you know, they have a lot to figure out. I don't know if it's the locker room issue or what, because the talent should be there. I mean, you know, Simeon is still, you know, he's a Gold Glove player here. Like they still have great pitchers.
But Adolis Garcia's sitting 213. You know, that's a problem. And then Corey Seager's hitting, he's doing okay. I know he missed part of the year with injury, but he's hitting 260. I mean, I think he's a better hitter than that. Marcus Simeon 259-11. So just every offensive guy is having a down year, and then I think the pitching has been spotty, and that's why you get where they are. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of tough, dude.
Yeah,
it really is. But I mean, I don't know. What do you think they do? Trade deadline? Think they turn around or what?
No,
I don't think so either.
Yeah, they'll probably be a 500 team this year.
I mean, I think it really was just the perfect storm for them last year. The acquisitions to the deadline. You know, Monty pitching really well, Scherzer laboring through innings in the playoffs, and obviously, you know, Garcia ripping it. But you know what was funny? You know, you had, you know, DeGrom and Scherzer back at Citi Field, first time since they left the team, which is pretty interesting. DeGrom tribute, Scherzer, I don't think there was.
Yeah.
But it's actually interesting because you know, DeGrom obviously interviewed, both of them were interviewed. You saw them, you know, DeGrom and Scherzer, you know, interacting with Mets players. They interviewed DeGrom first, and DeGrom's like, oh, yeah, you know, I offer, you know, I have so much, you know, great things to say about the Mets organization. They drafted me 9 years. I was out there giving it my all every single time. Great time. Love the players. Love these guys. Happy to be back.
Would love to get a polygraph on that.
Honestly, me too. But he did seem pretty genuine, honestly. He seems like a stand-up guy. I don't think he's holding any grudges. I think he knows his scenario. He even said, too, he goes, he wishes that he could be pitching right now. Unfortunately.
Is he close, did he say? Or?
I mean, he said, you know, he plans on, you know, next year when he comes back here. I think they come back here next year, he said.
It should be every other year because it's an interleague. But I was saying just.
I'm sorry. They're no, yeah, they're in.
They're in Texas
now.
City Field next year. But I meant like him pitching this year. Did he say anything about when he's going to be ready?
Oh no, they didn't ask me about that.
Gotcha.
But
this game. Wait. Is this? It's in Texas.
Yes,
okay, so,
we're in Texas. Next year we're going to be in Citi Field.
Wait, so why did you say tribute video?
There was no tribute video.
Is everybody just losing it today?
I guess maybe it was something I saw on Twitter.
Oh, okay. I don't know what. I don't know.
Because Gelbs talked about it.
Yeah.
It was in studio.
Gelbs is ripped.
You think so?
Maybe, right?
He doesn't seem like a guy who would torch it, to be honest, dude.
You never know.
Kind of seems like he's straight as an arrow. But they interviewed Scherzer, dude, and that was probably the funniest Scherzer interview I've ever seen in my life, dude. Because they asked him about the Mets. He goes, yeah, you know, there's a lot of great guys on this team with you know, a lot of talent that, you know, I want to keep tabs on as the years go on. So nice to see him.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Max.
So you're expecting Sevy to have a good performance tonight.
I mean, again, with the way the Rangers lineup are hitting, you would expect, you know, like a cool 6 innings, 2 earned runs, something like that.
Wow.
You know, like pretty stable, nothing crazy.
And any concern about scrapping a couple of runs against the Reds in 4-3, 2.86?
I don't think so, honestly. I think the bats have been hot enough. Again, honestly, if you came to me yesterday and asked me about John Gray, I would be worried about scrapping runs together. But clearly, the Mets, I think over the course of the weekend, I know the test, the teams, whatever. But right now, their bats seem to be hot, consistently hot. And I mean, everyone was hot last night. So you just really need a few guys.
Yeah.
You don't need to score 14. You need 22 hits on the night. You're probably going to need 4 runs to win this game.
So that'll be, of course, part of our frenzy. And then just a couple quick things here before we do our frenzy. So Yankees, starting that 3-game sit against the Orioles, Suarez, Cortez tonight. Suarez has been great. And I had never really heard of him before this year, but he's 3-0 with a 1.61 ERA. This is Albert Suarez, 34 years old, from Venezuela.
34, you said?
Yeah, 34 years old. And he has 160 career innings. So must have came over late in his career, from Venezuela. But also, this is actually 2 things I forgot to mention. So the first part, the broken forearm for Rizzo, out 4 to 6 weeks,
Dude,
which really might end his Yankee tenure.
It probably is gonna. You think he retires?
I mean, maybe after this season, but he's definitely going to want to come back now. But I think, somebody's going to take that spot. And speaking of somebody taking that spot, his roster spot, Ben Rice, the 25-year-old, he can catch. He plays first base, which is obviously what they're bringing him up for. I think between double and AAA, and he was recently promoted to AAA a couple of weeks ago, he has like 15 home runs. So he's a guy that's been, well thought of in the organization the last couple of years. So be interesting to see someone get a shot. And I was saying this too, Tony, and I know he's a clubhouse guy. He's popular with the players, all of that. But I think this Rizzo injury, and of course, I hope, he recovers well for his personal well-being. But I think for him just being out of this lineup, whether it's in the field or in the batter's box, is a really good thing for this team because he's just been a completely dead weight.
He's been kind of a liability almost.
Yeah.
That is tough though.
Yeah, it all came crashing down. You have to wonder if that whole thing with Tatis didn't happen. Would things be different? Who knows? We'll never know. But yeah, just a tough thing there. But Ben Rice gets an opportunity. So excited to see how he performs. But it is time for a full-on abbreviated baseball frenzy.
Feel like it's been forever, Brian.
It really does.
Go, dude. It's Tuesday, June 18th, dude. Let's go. It's game 2. I'll start it off. The Rangers are at home in Globe Life Field against the Mets. We said Sevy against Lorenzen is your pitching matchup. You're over under 8.5. Both teams are minus 110 on the money line, which is pretty interesting here for Brian's second favorite team. The Mets, on the 6-game win streak, winning 8 of their last 10 games. Sevy, honestly, has been a big part of some of the wins. He's 4-2 in the season. Like I said, I expect a pretty solid, quality start out of him. 6 innings, 2 earned runs. And I think, you're looking at some of your leaders, I think, tonight. I think Nimmo stays hot. I think Lindor stays hot as well. Lindor, I think, has 12 home runs in the year. I'm going to say 2-dinger night for him, dude. His 13th and 14th home runs for the season tonight. Both, well, I guess maybe one off Lorenzen, one off a bullpen guy, maybe late insurance, 7th inning run, something like that. Nimmo, a 3 for 4 night, feeling pretty good. Alvarez, maybe an RBI double nonetheless, chugging along the bags. Mets go on to win this game. I'll say 5-3. So give me Mets, give me the under, Brian.
All right.
There we go. 7 in a row for the Mets.
So Tony goes Mets in the over.
Matthew Ryan. I said Mets in the under.
The under. You definitely said over. But anyway, no. Anyway, Yankees, Orioles. I think the Yankees, well needed off day. Didn't like what happened there at Fenway Park, and I think they're going to be out for a vengeance after losing 3 or 4 in Baltimore earlier this year. Nestor's been great at home. I think the home crowd gets behind him. I think he gives us 6 scoreless. I think the offense, which struggled those last 2 games, is going to be jacked up. I wouldn't be surprised. Volpe double the lead off. Soto dinger, 2-0 first inning. And keep the runs flowing from there. So I think this is a 7-2 Yankee victory. So it's the Yankees and it's the over.
Wow, Yankees and the under, huh?
Over. You said it, though. So Josh already texted me.
No, he didn't.
Stop
it. All right, let's go. Next game, second game here, the buffer game. The Phillies. Kind of want them to lose. I want to pick them. Geez, do I even have any starters today? I guess give me Walker Buehler and the Dodgers. Dodgers, I feel like I know they're 45 and 29. Mookie, though, out for a while. I don't know if you saw. So is Yamamoto, which is going to be kind of tough.
For Yamamoto? I didn't see the
I don't know.
I know Mookie's going to be a couple months.
Yeah. Yamamoto, I know it's like a shoulder strain.
Okay.
So I think they're kind of waiting and seeing maybe. I'll look it up after the frenzy. But nonetheless, Walker Buehler gets his start here tonight against the Colorado Rockies. It's going to be game 2 of the 4-game set. Dodgers won yesterday 9-5. So obviously, scoring 9 runs there really shouldn't be an issue, I don't think, regardless of Mookie Betts or not. They have enough, I think, firing power. Ohtani looking for his 20th dinger. I think it will be tonight. I think it will be against Austin Gomber, who has a 4.26 ERA. Walker Buehler labors through this game. Maybe gets that ERA down to a 4 at this point. But give me the Dodgers winning this game in Colorado, too. I think the balls will be flying. 9-5 was the first game. That's right. Give me the over 11.5, which is crazy. I guess give me Dodgers winning 7-5. Dodgers and the over, Brian.
All right, I'm going to take the Royals over the lowly A's.
That's
Alec
what we go?
Marsh, a great start last time out, against the Yankees. The A's have lost 9 in a row. Make it 10 in a row and make it 10-0. So I think Bobby Witt Jr., 5 for 5, hitting for the cycle. Marsh striking out 12 over 6 innings.
I like that.
And it's the Royals and it's the over.
Royals and the over.
Third game, final game.
Third game, final game. Fucking. I guess let's go for it. Let's go to the Nesson game. Let's go to the Red Sox on the road against Toronto. Tanner Hoke on the mound here. 2.08 ERA, having a great year, 7-5. Red Sox obviously coming off not a bad weekend. Taking 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. And then, of course, yesterday, winning their first game of this 3-game set in Toronto, 7-3 decisively. Chris Bassett on the mound. I think he'll get popped, honestly. And I think Varsho strikes out 0 for 4 night, 3 Ks. Vladdy, maybe a 1 for 4 night with a solo shot, but also striking out 2 or 3 times. I say Red Sox do pinch this one out. Red Sox win this game. I'll say 5-3. So Red Sox and the over, Brian.
Wait, the other? Third game,
Final game, Brian's game.
And I'm gonna take a look at this, and I am gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Cubs.
Whoa!
They're underdog, or they're not underdogs. I guess slight favorites against the Giants, -115. Whatever. Logan Webb on the hill. Oh, Webb better pitcher than Justin Steele, but Steele has a 3.22 ERA this year. It's my 0-3 record. But I think the
crazy.
Cubs are a better team. I think the Giants are really trash, to be honest. But I'll take the Cubs in the under. I'm gonna say 4-1 final from Wrigley. Cubs and the under. And just
final.
like that is your baseball frenzy. And also, too, I just wanted to get your take on this. Josh B didn't agree with me, but I said, after the performance on Sunday Night Baseball, that Jose Trevino not only should be
I do remember
benched for the Orioles series, but should be really like off the team, honestly, because I just think, yes, he hits well, but if teams are just going to be able to run every single time, like 9 for 9, I mean, I don't think you could put somebody out there that's going to give that up.
I mean, do you think off the team, though, is a little bit?
No. How could you be a catcher? And
No,
0
I
for
agree.
9? I'm not saying 2 for 9, 0 for 9?
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. I mean, he's got clearly no defense there. He can't throw.
Right.
From behind the
so
plate,
I'm saying,
is he missing his mark in the throws? He's just not quick enough with the release?
everything.
everything.
Bobble throws, no timing down. And it's just like, speaking of time, I mean, we don't have time for that, Tony.
What's like, I mean, has he been like that all year? Kind of like 133 at bats, bench 71. I guess his bat is okay, huh? Yeah. I mean, again, like you said, there's no room for it. And I think that, the Yankees have other people they could put in there.
Yeah, Wells
Wells
Rice
specifically,
catches
dude.
as well. And yeah, I mean, I would love to just trade him. His bat's been hot. Like I said, we need a catcher that's gonna throw guys out.
What is he still good at? Is it just a throwing out? Like, is his framing behind the plate?
That
Everything
stuff
else is
good,
fine.
but I don't care. I just
Yeah.
think you can't like that. That was very embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like in the fact that half of those he didn't even throw. Like
Mhm.
I don't like, you know what I mean? I can't compute that. I've never seen that. Red Sox have been around forever. That was a franchise record. Like that's not acceptable.
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
So I don't know. But like what would your solution be if it was you? Because the whole reason too I want him to be benched in the Baltimore series is Baltimore has some guys that can run. Mullins, I'm sure Santander can steal a couple bases.
Oh, yeah.
Gunnar Henderson is fast. So by playing Trevino, wouldn't they just go every time? Like why would after watching that game, that's a national game. I mean, why wouldn't you steal every time?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think he should be benched.
Yeah.
Like, he should not be starting. Certainly not, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the Orioles, like you said, youthful team. All their guys are pretty speedy.
Yeah. So yeah, I couldn't believe that. That was absolutely insane.
Is he starting in this series?
We'll find out later, I guess, right? But he shouldn't be. I'll tell you that much. And when I'm at the game Thursday, he better not be in the lineup. Let me tell you. Otherwise, he's going to hear it. Even though I don't usually chirp my own players.
That would be crazy.
We'll see because we'll find out. Anyhow, last order of business. Let's go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle quick. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rink Wellington made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn. Side of the net. Between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pastrnak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right. And by the way, Josh B says newly acquired to my fantasy team, Bobby Wood Jr. I missed it. I don't usually look at like the transactions, but I guess that was a trade.
It was.
And he said, I'll take a cycle. I just feel like I don't have any patience for trades in terms of myself because I feel like everybody always offers you a rip-off trade that they want you to accept. And I just get annoyed. And it's like, I don't even feel like going through this process. Like maybe if we're going to casually, over a Guinness at the Horseshoe, Tony, talk about like a matchup that'd be good.
Yeah.
Great. But I just feel like when you're going blind counters and stuff, it's all garbage.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Honestly, it's actually funny you say that because I feel like that happens so often where you do get some, like, you get offered like 3 terrible players
Brutal.
for like a really good player. And I'm like, dude, I'm not like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. You offer me 3 players. Like, this is trash. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I didn't see the trade. I remember getting the indicator about, this trade was proposed.
Oh, but it should just be in the general moves area.
Let's see, transaction. Trade. So,
okay, I got it.
Bobby Wood Jr. for Profar, Bo Bichette, and Ranger Suarez.
It's interesting. It's funny because like net, obviously, I mean, Josh B gets the better player, but Daniel's Dandy team gets 3 guys that are pretty good, but I just have a tough time not getting the best player in the deal. So even though Josh gave up a lot, I think Bobby Wood Jr. is so much better than Bo Bichette. Profar, I mean, can you find somebody on the waiver wire that's not that much worse than him? Probably. And then Suarez, is that Roberto Suarez or Ranger Suarez?
I think it's Ranger Suarez, but I guess I could be wrong. Let's see. I can't click on it,
So it is Ranger Suarez, who actually is doing great. So
yeah, he's doing great, dude. So I don't know, man.
Yes, if he really needed pitching, I mean, I guess that's pretty fair. And like I said, he might have a little more value, but obviously he's the premium in the deal. And Kev saying it was a trash trade. Kev, there was no Mets in the deal. I mean, come on.
That's funny, dude. But honestly, I don't know, man. I think the Danny's Dandy team really stole it a little bit.
But that's not Bernie, right?
I don't know who that is, to be honest.
I guess Josh will probably tell us. He says
Josh
exactly fair.
Yeah, I don't know, Josh.
No, Josh.
I know he didn't. Yeah.
Profar's having a good year, and I haven't checked, but I think Bichette is a little off. I mean, we know.
I know he started hot. I thought,
but I feel like recently,
really,
yeah, he has.
I mean, he's come on, dude.
It's Bernie, he says.
It is Bernie. Bichette 237, 4 dingers.
Okay, he has a calf, but he's, I guess it's minor. Okay, but yeah, he's had a terrible season actually. Wow.
I thought he
but-
had like a good start to the year.
He definitely did. Yeah. Yeah. So, over the course of this season, that may
His May was good.
help Bernie. But the thing is, Bobby Witt still so many bases. His average is so high. I mean,
Yeah, he is a great player.
I don't know if you want to trade him at the end of the day.
It is Bernie.
Even if
Bichette
you're giving up
stinks.
multiple guys, yeah, I think Josh won the deal. What about you? Pitchers are finicky. You're telling me Suarez might not have a 4 ERA in the second half. I mean, we've seen it,
I mean,
especially the Phillies.
yeah, I don't know. I think the Phillies are going to continue to do well.
But Suarez is, I mean, he's the 7th ranked pitcher on fantasy. You think he's really going to keep that up?
Yeah.
Wow. And Josh,
I really do.
is this a shot? He says it looks like I could use a pitcher.
Oh wow, dude. I guess so. Do you?
It's funny. I have so many teams I forget what pitchers I have, but I did just pick up Alec Marsh for his start tonight somehow. But
Are you really that riled for that though?
Yes.
Really
he
riled
looked
for
really
Marsh?
good last time. Well, the thing is, so Gallen's injured. I do have Freddie Peralta, but he's been kind of mediocre. I picked up Bailey O'Bear. He had a really good start last time out, but he's been inconsistent this year. Jordan Montgomery's been terrible. So I guess he does have a point there. Michael King up and down as well. But the potential to do better, lots of strikeouts. So yeah, no, he is right. He definitely is right. So if Gallen comes back, that'll be big.
Josh,
I have so many
Bees
closers.
eyeing up your team, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, I'm in 3rd place. I mean, I guess on the strength of my offense, even though I took Corbin Carroll over Aaron Judge, which might cost me towards the end of the year.
Corbin Carroll.
Just because it was like, okay, it's my last fantasy draft to have Judge in all my other leagues. Like, let's just in case. And he says, see, honesty.
He's so funny, dude.
I got some hours. Let's talk, and yeah, we will definitely talk about that, Josh.
Oh my god, dude, Josh is winning.
And at least, Josh is not gonna. He knows that I know what I'm doing. He's not gonna send me something ridiculous.
Where is he in the league right now?
I think he's worked his
5th.
Yeah, he's really worked his way up.
I guess he has, dude.
But I was just gonna mention Oilers staying alive over the weekend, Tony. Game 5 tonight, and similar thing where they blew out Panthers last game, but at home now they're on the road. And I even said after this, like they're still gonna lose. I don't think they win tonight, and just kind of curious. I mean, and you think they have anything left here to take this back to Edmonton?
Dude, I cannot imagine them winning this game.
No,
I really can't.
I think a 4-1,
yeah.
right? A 5-2.
It's literally going to be like the NBA Finals almost, dude.
Yeah.
They had that one win at home, whatever. That's it, dude.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I mean, listen, and then Bobrovsky, I think, just needed that, little reset, against the Oilers in Edmonton, whatever. But their team is just, the Panthers are too good. There's no way that they're going to be rolling over, and there's no way in hell they're like thinking they won already either. Like this team is not fucking around.
Well, this is hockey. This is basketball.
Exactly,
Yeah.
dude. So like they're dialed in. They're gonna come out just like they always do, play their game. Paul Maurice knows what he's doing. So I mean, yeah, I think you're gonna see the cup get hoisted tonight by the Panthers, and hockey will be over for a little while, which is sad. But did you hear what Rick was talking about like Connor McDavid?
No.
That John Tortorella said.
What did he say?
Because it's pretty interesting. I guess I never really knew this, but he was saying how Tortorella has always been critical of Connor McDavid.
Okay.
Thinks that people put him on a pedestal, but in reality, he has a lot to work on to raise the cup.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a lot of backlash for that, which I guess I can look into. But Rick was saying that he texted Tortorella, I think, last night or 2 nights ago, whatever, after the Oilers won. If there was any chance that the Oilers can come back, and Tortorella said, no way. Florida has some of the best two-way forwards, which is what Edmonton lacks, which is pretty interesting. I think it's an interesting take that, Edmonton's forwards don't play enough defense. And I mean, it's interesting too, when you're playing the Panthers, who, Barkov won, I believe, the Selke Trophy, which is the best defensive forward in the league, which he is, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting, dude. What do you think about Tortorella and saying that?
I think he should probably worry about his own team first. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, I mean, obviously he's a great player. Nobody's 100%. Everybody has a strength, whether it's offense or it's defense. Some offensive players are better defensive players than others. But we know the premium talent that Connor McDavid is.
Oh yeah.
And I just think, I think they need to, if they're going to keep that same core of guys, they need to bring in somebody, like a Verhaeghe, like a Reinhardt. You know what I mean? They need somebody that's going to grind it out here. Or Brady Kachuk, even like something like that. I don't know. I just feel like they need someone to get in there and that you can rely on in the playoffs. And of course, too, shore up the defense. Maybe Jacob Trouba, goes to Edmonton. As tight as you are on him, just to get rid of Trouba, and let's say they absorb the whole thing, would you take Kane back?
Evander Kane?
Yeah. Trouba's so bad, though. For $8 million, he's terrible, honestly.
If they absorb the entire contract, I don't know what Kane is on, though. What's
it's not anything.
I thought he re-signed, right? Didn't
he re-signed, but
Yeah.
I'm saying his salary is diminished because of all that stuff.
And he's also out. Evander Kane signed a 4-year, $20 million.
Okay, so he makes less money than Trouba.
I think I would rather pay $3 million more for Trouba than
Trouba's so bad, though. He really is, Tony.
Evander Kane can't be much
But
better.
Trouba
He's
is
not.
a $2 million defenseman, and he's making $8 million. I mean,
that $2 million, I think, is a little bit undervalued.
I mean, you can't give him more than $3 million.
I don't know. I think you can give him $4 million. He's your captain, for Christ's sake.
We were talking about this, me and Michael, yesterday. I love it. You
Oh,
do
really?
have this is. I feel like you're gonna get tight, but I feel like you just have this thing like when a guy's on a team for a while, you just like you don't want to let him go. Like
I get
everything.
a little sentimental about players,
Yeah.
but also it's just I don't know, man. I think trading away your captain is a weird
Uh-huh.
move, and I don't understand why the Rangers do it so often. Like
They do.
They've done it twice in my lifetime. Like it's crazy, dude. So I don't know. I mean. Like I get this guy was elected captain by the locker room, so clearly there's a reason why he has value to the team. And again, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, I guess it is. His defense sometimes is weary.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems to be a big part of the team. Is he worth that much money? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not right now, anyway.
Uh
If he comes out next year and is playing really well, if a team would pick him up with his contract, yeah, I would probably deal him.
yeah.
Because that would give up so much cap space for you, but you're not going to find a team that's going to take this contract fully, and at that point you need something significant in return because you can't argue he's not a presence on the ice, you know, like he's out on the ice, like your other team is worried about him. They're looking out for him. So, I mean, that brings out a lot of value as well. So I think the right trade package, I would be certainly for it. For getting rid of him, eliminate some of the cap and to get another defenseman. It's gonna have to be for another defenseman.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Drury's got some work though.
He does have some work. Dude.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Evander Kane, I don't think so.
I just want to get Trouba off the books, and really Mika. Honestly, I know you can't, but it just pisses me off. I just don't, because I just think hockey is just so different than any other sport where the cap is so tight. And I know it's going up a little bit, but I just hate wasting cap space when I just feel like for less money we could probably get somebody who's better, and that's what annoys me.
Oh, I know.
Better. And
I don't know
less?
about better and less.
Mika,
Better
though,
and less.
Well, especially if you're considering what the player is going to do in the playoffs.
You have to. What do you have? 75 points, 80 points this year?
I don't know. I just know for me, it was overwhelming just based on what I feel like he's capable
of. No, I mean, listen, I think during the regular season, he had 72 points. Skating leaders and points, complete leaders. Wait, no, this is postseason. Let's go regular season, Brian. Let's not get twisted
crazy
here. So let's go down points. He was 72. So he's top 50 in points in the league. Again, guys you can look at. Man, I guess that Kevin Fiala will be one of them. You can probably get for less. Brady Kachuk is someone that was looked at from Ottawa too. He had 70 points, 74 points in the year. Hagel from Tampa Bay, I wouldn't rely on that.
But Fox having more points than, I know it's only one, but I think that's embarrassing because he's a defenseman. And he's not really scoring that much. Like Mika blew it this year.
He could have done better. Yeah, certainly.
Especially in the playoffs. I mean, I would say his playoff grade was an F, honestly.
I would say it was close to that. Maybe C minus. Yeah.
You know,
No,
and
I
I'm just,
agree, dude.
you know what I mean? I just don't like transition years, transition phases, and I'm trying to get out ahead of it. And I just think at the end of the day, Tony, I mean, let's be real. Mika and Truba, I don't see them being the
Right.
center of a Rangers Stanley Cup.
No, I mean, I totally agree. And I think where the buck stops is that postseason. I mean, if
Yeah.
Zibanejad had, 9 goals in the postseason,
Oh, yeah.
it'd be a totally different story. Because look at who's below him. It's
Right.
tied for points. It's Carter Verhaeghe.
Yeah.
He's someone who probably has 11 goals this year in the postseason.
Yeah.
And he's in the Cup final right now. And he had
Yeah.
the same amount of points, like that Zibanejad had this season. Same center, just plays a little bit of a different game. And if Mika had those goals, I mean, it'd be totally different. He'd be worth it because he's showing up in the playoffs,
Yeah.
Again, does he get over that hump? I mean, that's like the age-old question,
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, dude, like next regular season, Zibanejad has still a stellar year, probably somewhere around this amount of points, if not more. Same thing with Panarin.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be about whether they show up in the postseason or not. Because those are guys, again, we've seen it year in and year out from those guys, really, like consistently. They're always around there. They're always leaders of the team. They're always good in the regular season. Playoffs kaput, Panarin's rarely seen the playoffs. Before Zibanejad came to the Rangers, he wasn't seeing the playoffs in Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's jitters, if it's mental, if it's coaching, if it's leadership. I mean, again, I feel like, the Rangers have to be thinking about that. I don't know I'm sure some players don't listen to the media and whatnot, but you on Twitter, like you look at that, like social media, you go on ESPN or NHL Network, like they're talking about like Kreider being a leader. Trocheck should be captain. Those guys are last off of the ice every game.
Right.
Like I don't know, man. Maybe there is something going on in the locker room. Who knows?
Yeah. Truba doesn't deserve it.
I don't. It's so odd. It really is, dude. But you would imagine, Laviolette, I think, was a big part of the glue that kept the team together. Great locker room coach. So you got to love that. Moving forward, again, with the Rangers, especially next season, it is like kind of cup or bust at this point.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of. I want 4 or 5 new players on this roster.
Like this is it though. Like this is your next year now. Okay, like you went through the rebuild super quickly. 2-3 years, you're competitive. You're making the Eastern Conference final now.
And also Igor is in the last year of his deal next year, right?
Next year, yeah.
Yeah.
But he said, again, you want to probably lock him up for some more years. You're gonna want to probably, and he said too in the offseason, he made that joke when someone asked him about the renewal. He goes, "Oh, I don't speak English, whatever." Like he wants to stay with Rangers, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So
and he earned it this year.
He certainly did, dude. Yeah, he's not going anywhere,
No,
Brian.
I'm not suggesting. I know I said that earlier in the year, but he earned it. I was wrong. Done. The other guys didn't earn it. That's the problem.
Done. Don't mention it again.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
But this is it, dude. It's fight or flight next season. Like you got to fucking hoist the cup. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And we both agree Panthers will be hoisting the cup tonight. I say 4-1. You say
I like 4-1. I'm gonna say 5-1 though.
And it seems like Kev has the same attachment issues.
Dude, how crazy is he really talking about for the Rangers?
But Kev, Mika's ripped. Get over it.
Mika's not going to go anywhere though.
He's so
he could be ripped.
Honestly, it's insane. It really is. I'm tired of his little toe tap fucking penalty shot, okay? And then just not being able to score. Like he's invisible on the ice in the postseason.
Right.
No, get the hell out of here.
But
You're
he's not
New York Rangers.
He's not going to be being moved within the next 2 years.
But that's the problem, Tony. That's what I'm saying. That is going to come back to haunt the Rangers because of his salary and the production that he doesn't give you in the postseason.
So you think there's zero chance he wakes up in the postseason?
No. We've seen it too many times. He's not that type of player. He's a complimentary guy. He doesn't take over games. That's the problem.
Right.
That's why I've been saying they need somebody like McDavid because clearly Panarin's not that guy either. And the only guy that has that in his bones is Chris Kreider.
Yeah, no, it seems like that he's the only guy who does have it in his bones. Maybe Vinny T.
Yeah, Vinny T's a great player. So I'm just saying I want to get ahead of it instead of running back the same thing and then getting the same result.
No, yeah, you can't run back the same thing.
With the same group. If it wasn't going to happen this year, it's not going to happen with them.
No, yeah, I think you're totally right. And it should be. Do you think that Drury comes out in the postseason, and you think there's more chances that we see more of a change in the top 6 forwards or the bottom 6 forwards?
Top.
Really?
Because, like I said, you need somebody like, okay, you're good in the regular season, but are you diminished in the postseason?
Right.
If you are, you're done. You're out.
Yeah.
That's how you are the Panthers full of guys that were just good in the regular season and then aren't good in the postseason? No, they're all thriving in the postseason.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. And I think in the postseason too, you saw some of those bottom six players like a Johnny Brodzinski, you know, who had a game winner in OT, kind of show up. And it's like those are the games that are going to be the deciding factors because you're winning other games when your top six are working. And that's what we never saw, you know, against Florida. The top six never really worked. So yeah, I mean, I would like to see a little bit of a change. And I think that first line with Zibanejad was interesting. I mean, the year they had was odd because I think you saw the most movement on that line. The Crider, Zibanejad, Blake Wheeler to start off. Everyone's like, why is Blake Wheeler? He's 36 years old. Why is he on this first line? Whatever. And then they try to fix it in Kako. Wheeler gets hurt. Who they put in? Wenberg got some Roslovic comes into the line. So I don't know if just all that movement, you know, inebriated Crider and Zibanejad from getting going because we know their connection was good. And again, Roslovic is someone who I think really dropped the ball during the postseason too, because he was that deadline acquisition.
I know
Wenberg hit that one goal.
Yeah, come on.
Wenberg was bad though. He was a bad acquisition. Never really contributed much. A couple goals, maybe even in the regular season, if that. Roslovic was a player you saw him skate hard. You're like, whoa. This guy could be a hard hitting forward.
There was a reason why his numbers were trash going over, and that was too much projecting on just stuff that is going to be part of a combine. You have to produce.
Right, exactly. And then that I think came to light during the postseason because he did not produce in the postseason, at least past the freaking Washington series. So, you know, I think some more work has to be done, certainly. And I think, I don't know, so far, Drury with the deadline acquisitions.
No, it blew it on Gensel. Should have gotten him.
Yeah. And again, even last year, I mean, Kane, Tarasenko, what's Tarasenko doing right now? He's fucking scoring goals for Florida, dude.
Yeah. Not good.
Not good, dude.
So big offseason ahead. I hope he puts the pie down and gets to work. That's
colony,
for sure.
Dude. Still have to try Rigos.
Are you going to have Rigos tonight, bench buddies, or no?
Rigos tonight for bench buddies, probably not Rigos. We have some leftovers here from the weekend.
There you go.
So we'll be hammering that. But yes, bench buddies tonight. Mike and I try to get to a movie this afternoon to review tonight, which should be pretty cool. But we'll see kind of what happens. But still, regardless, it'll be a great episode. Regardless,
rapid fire,
freaking news, dude. I forget what Mike's been watching this show, Sweet Tooth. You probably hate it, to be honest. Netflix show, it's kind of sci-fi, dude.
That's enough of that. Wow. But listen. Tony and Michael and Manny, they are the best in the business with that stuff. So definitely tune into that. We're saying 8 o'clock sharp?
8 p.m. sharp, yes.
All right.
Definitely.
So everybody tune in for that. But we really appreciate everybody today who tuned in, and we encourage everybody to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay, and costume the merch at downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees.
Go Mets.
And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.